inside of me. They have so many interesting chicken parts. First of all, chicken wings, chicken...
We're in Beijing, the capital of China. This is where we're sent to start the process. In order to go to North Korea, we have to sign up through an agency for a sightseeing trip in one of the most restricted countries on the planet. To be eligible to participate, it is obligatory to complete this form and accept a whole list of restrictions, some of which are completely absurd. Entering the country with a Bible is forbidden. Wearing a t-shirt with political or obscene slogans is forbidden. Bringing books in Korean or about North Korea is forbidden. And above all, it is forbidden to be a journalist. We've had to become invisible online before we sent our request.
Donc là, nous sommes à l'aéroport de Pékin. Dans une heure, on va prendre le premier vol pour Pyongyang, la capitale de la Corée du Nord. Le pays est totalement interdit aux journalistes. Du coup, on va se faire passer pour deux touristes. Avec des caméscopes.
We are flying with Air Koryo, the North Korean state-owned airline. No foreign newspapers are available, only the official press boasting about the great leader Kim Jong-un's latest missile tests. There are no blockbusters on the screens, just propaganda videos on a loop. After an hour and a half, we fly over Pyongyang, the capital of a closed country led by a 34-year-old dictator who's been terrifying the world for several months. Already, our camera is causing problems.
Yes?
Please don't take pictures. Please don't take pictures.
Okay.
We are part of a group of about 20 tourists. All nationalities are accepted except South Koreans, who are the regime's worst enemies. Through the window, we discover the new face of the country. Kim Jong-un has not only built missiles, modern skyscrapers have also appeared. For 10 days, we will be guided around the country. There is no question of travelling around ourselves. Our trip will be monitored very closely.
Don't cut it up, don't chop off.
The regulation is do not taking photos of military or military installations. Number 2 is if you have some images of our leaders, and then please keep it well. Don't tear it, don't throw out to the worst box, and don't roll it. If you do not add, it's kind of insult for Korean people. The final thing is the foreigners cannot go out far away from the hotel unaccompanied by your guide. So it's forbidden.
We arrive at our hotel, the only one to welcome foreign tourists, to find our first surprise.
J'avais un petit cadenas.
Ouais.
Et le cadenas, il a disparu. Pour une raison simple, c'est que la valise, ils l'ont fouillée. Comme tu vois, j'avais... comme ça, c'est pas très bien rangé et tout ça, mais tous les trucs ont été jetés à l'intérieur de la valise. Hop. Je sais pas exactement ce qu'ils cherchaient, enfin bon, bref. Ma trousse de toilette a été totalement retournée.
Every year, 5,000 Western tourists visit North Korea, but the authorities have become more and more suspicious. It was during an organised trip like this one that the American student, Otto Warmbier, was arrested in January 2016, accused of stealing a propaganda poster from this same hotel. 2 months later, he appeared terrorised, head down in court. A trial worthy of Stalin, with a show of contrition in front of the cameras.
I entirely beg you, people and government of the DPR Korea, for your forgiveness. Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Otto Warmbier was finally sent back to the United States, but in a coma. North Korean authorities claim he was affected by botulism, a rare disease, while in prison. His parents accuse his jailers of torturing him. The autopsy was inconclusive, and his death remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that he disobeyed the guides who were accompanying him, which could have led to his arrest.
C'est dans cet hôtel qu'a été arrêté l'Américain, le célèbre Américain qui est resté 2 ans emprisonné avant de mourir aux États-Unis. Et d'après nos informations, il aurait tenté de se rendre au 5e étage. C'est l'étage interdit. Ok, vas-y. Donc, comme vous pouvez voir, il n'y a pas de 5e étage. On passe directement du 4 au 6. Le seul moyen de s'y rendre, c'est par les escaliers. Et c'est complètement interdit.
It's impossible to know what is on the mysterious 5th floor, but we have been warned that crossing this line would put us in danger. It's the country full of both fantasies and anxieties. North Korea is one of the most savage dictatorships in the world. Its leader, Kim Jong-un, is a head of state who is both mysterious and whimsical. He cultivates a certain secrecy around himself and never gives any interviews, but he feeds his people with stories of his exploits. Since he arrived in power 5 years ago, his country has never been so close to becoming a nuclear power. Nothing can stop him, not even Donald Trump.
If it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself.
During our stay, we will discover what the regime wants to show foreigners. Gigantic monuments glorifying great leaders of the country and a society obeying orders. An undercover report where it can be dangerous to get the camera out. We will plunge into a country that is drowning in propaganda, where everything is done to prepare the population for war.
We succeeded in launching the H-bomb, and we will defend our country from the US.
The inhabitants are indoctrinated. Kim Jong-un's missiles are displayed everywhere. The target, the great American Satan.
I hate them.
Today, still today.
Still today, US Army is our biggest enemy.
Here they sing the dictator's praises in the streets, in the countryside, and even in the primary schools. We also went to the place where Kim Jong-un grew up, in Switzerland, where nobody knew his true identity.
There were one or two guys sometimes following him, or but we thought, okay, maybe it's part of the family. Nowadays we think, okay, this might have been his bodyguards maybe.
Finally, we investigated in Malaysia, where Kim Jong-un most likely ordered the assassination of his own brother.
It definitely took a lot of planning, yeah. It's not something that is done overnight. The execution has to be perfect for this kind of thing. And I think the execution was perfect.
그렇다 보니까 사람들이 많이 조심을 하고 항상 이제 공포감이 더 커지고 있다고 그런 이야기들 좀 들었어요.
Journey into Kim Jong-un's Korea, the #1 enemy of America and its allies.
Do you consider that Kim Jong-un is a madman?
Of course not. He is very smart, realistic, extremely pragmatic person, and probably the greatest Machiavellian currently in operation.
위대한 용도자 김정일 동지께서 소거하셨다는 것을 가장 귀통한 신성으로 알린다.
In December 2011, after the death of Kim Jong-il, the man who had led North Korea for 17 years, the world discovered the man he had chosen as his successor, his third son, Kim Jong-un, a chubby young man, 28 years old, who cried in front of his father's body. State television captured the distress of the North Korean people. In the snow, hundreds of thousands of people cried and wailed. Outrageous scenes of grief filmed close up by cameras of the regime. Kim Jong-un accompanied the hearse with the highest dignitaries of the country. That day, many underestimated him. They thought he was too young and undoubtedly too weak to take power. But the new dictator would quickly silence his critics. Andrei Lankov is one of the world's leading experts in North Korea. He's written many books about Kim Jong-un, his father, and his grandfather.
You have the coffin, and you have 8 people who are walking next to the coffin. Kim Jong-un is number 1. Who is after him? It's his uncle, Chang Son-taek. At the time, the single most important, most influential official in the country. For about a year, he was to remain Kim Jong-un's closest advisor. Then, during a cabinet meeting, the secret police broke in and in front of cameras actually arrested him and dragged him away. And next day, the main official newspaper declared that he was a traitor and was executed.
Kim Jong-un showed no weakness. In the following months, he eliminated all of the most powerful members of the regime.
Excluding Kim Jong-un, 7 people. Of these people, 5 were to disappear or lose their jobs. 2 of them are known to be dead. The fate of the remaining 3 is not clear, but they almost definitely have been purged. It's cruel, yes, but if you look at history of any monarchy, pre-modern monarchy, you will see a lot of similar situation. It's very dangerous to be an advisor or regent to a young king.
The country bows down. Kim Jong-un showed that he would go to any lengths to stay in power, and with propaganda that played scenes of soldiers overjoyed at having a new leader on a loop, Un sent a message. It was better not to get in his way. The first step in a trip to North Korea is to pay tribute to the country's former great leaders, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, the grandfather and father of the current leader, Kim Jong-un. Every day, thousands of people come to bow down before the huge statues in their image. They were built after their deaths. We have to buy flowers and place them in front of the monuments. It is obligatory for tourists. However, we are forbidden from taking pictures. We film discreetly.
Lay flower. Off your sunglasses. Lay flower and come back to the line. We will take 1 bow.
After we have bowed, we are allowed to film the statues, but again, there are instructions to follow. Several guides accompany us the entire time. Mr. Kang, their head, checks that the images of the great leaders are not cut off, as this, according to him, would be disrespectful.
Okay. Like that? Okay.
This statue itself is 20 meters, but during their lifetime, President Kim Il-sung is taller than General, so the statue is different. And then the pedestal itself is 3 meters high, or totally 23 meters.
After they will make another statue of Kim Jong-un?
No. Now the statue we don't have it.
Why?
Kim Jong-un, he doesn't like it.
He doesn't like statue?
He doesn't like his painting on his statue.
Okay. Why? You don't know why?
Because he's very humble.
Okay.
He likes normal life.
Kim Jong-un, a normal president. The next part of the visit will prove the opposite. In a neighbouring bookstore, there are shelves filled with his books, in every language. At the age of 34, in addition to his career as dictator, Kim Jong-un has already taken the time to write a dozen books.
Anticipons la victoire finale par une offensive idéologique révolutionnaire. Signé Kim Jong-un. Les vétérans sont les aînés révolutionnaires inestimables qui sont à l'origine de cet indomptable esprit de défense de la patrie. Ça, c'est un titre, ça.
As well as the books, there are records. Every one a song to the father of the nation. Kim Jong-un, like his father and grandfather before him, is entitled to the daily honours of propaganda. The great leader is also a great horseman. He also drives a tank, a submarine, and an airliner.
언제나 하늘 소경들과 함께 비행기를 타고 자국의 푸른 하늘을 날고 싶은 것이 자신의 심정이라고 늘 말씀하고 나시는 경의하는 최고 사령관 동지.
Kim Jong-un is also the friend of the elderly. A man who makes children quiver with emotion and women cry with love. A demigod worshipped by his people. However, everything led to believe that his style would be different from that of his predecessors. He was educated partly in Europe, far from North Korea. Kim Jong-un's childhood remains somewhat mysterious. He was born in 1983, though the date is uncertain. Here he is with his mother, a former dancer, the second wife of his father, Kim Jong-il. As a teenager, he was sent to continue his studies at the other end of the earth, in the small town of Libreville, Switzerland. The country is one of the few to maintain diplomatic relations with North Korea. Moreover, the education there is reputed to be excellent.
This morning I read newspapers, and on the first page you can see is my friend that I used to go to school with, and this was the exact school where, he was walking around.
Nikola Kovacevic knew the young Un from the first year of the local high school.
He wasn't really special in any way. He used to run around, he used to be very open actually. I do remember him talking High German quite well.
At the time, only the Swiss authorities knew that they were housing the family of a dictator. Un moved to the country with his brother and sister. Here is their entry document to the country. The three children kept the first names, but their surname, Kim, was changed to Pak. So Kim Jong-un was called Pak Hun. His true identity was never revealed during his stay. Even his friends didn't suspect anything.
I remember the first time I saw him, they were mentioning that we will have a new class member, and he's apparently from North Korea. And I do exactly remember they told me he's the son of the ambassador.
Later, the Swiss newspaper Sonntagszeitung ordered an anthropometric study comparing the face of the young boy and the current dictator. There's no doubt it's the same man, a few years older and a few kilos heavier. In Switzerland, he could not arouse any suspicions, even if his life didn't always resemble that of an ambassador's son.
There were one or two guys sometimes following him but we thought, okay, maybe it's part of the family. We were not really even asking who are these guys. We just kind of accepted them. They were sometimes joining us for a basket game. Nowadays we think, okay, this might have been his bodyguards maybe. So right now we are at the exact place where Un used to live. That was his apartment. So this was his entrance, so he used to walk in and walk out, go to school.
The apartment has since been resold. Photos of the interior have been released. This is where the young Kim Jong-un lived. Nothing luxurious for the son of a head of state, but the teenager did have some privileges.
He was, by that I really meant without parents. He was having his apartment, and the other apartment was maybe for his workers or help people, people that used to care for him. He was having cooks or maybe other people who used to serve him even maybe. He was having a room filled with basketball stuff where Michael Jordan's shirt or, the original NBA basketball, was inside. NBA was back then the most popular sport in the United States, right? So I think you cannot like NBA and hate or not like the United States on the other hand.
After 2 years spent in the greatest secrecy, Un disappeared overnight, repatriated to his homeland. It would seem that he didn't learn anything from the democracy lessons on the Swiss school curriculum. On the other hand, he returned passionate about Western culture, and it showed. In July 2012, a few months after his accession to power, Un appeared as his father and grandfather never had. He attends a concert in Pyongyang accompanied by his wife. In North Korea, the first ladies had always remained invisible until then. On stage, the orchestra plays the music from the film Rocky. In the background, images of Sylvester Stallone crushing his Soviet enemy. The highlight of the show, Mickey, Minnie, the Seven Dwarfs and Winnie the Pooh, symbols that couldn't be more American. Two years later, he publicly proclaims his passion for US basketball. He invites Dennis Rodman, the NBA star, to Pyongyang for his birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Marshall. Happy birthday to you.
As well as basketball, Kim Jong-un brought back other souvenirs of his experience in Europe. Under his rule, North Korea changed. He introduced some economic liberalization, which brought money into the country. In Pyongyang, modern buildings were built. American-style towers now overlook the statues of the great leaders. Kim Jong-un also unveiled some typically Swiss installations, ski slopes and other entertainment venues.
C'est le parc d'attractions le plus récent. Il a été fait construire par Kim Jong-un parce qu'il considère qu'une société développée, c'est avant tout une société de loisirs.
Theme parks have opened and also amusement arcades. Bowling alleys and bars, even if it is only the most privileged who go. Our guides are proud to show us that life is happy in their country, but it is impossible to know what daily life really looks like for North Koreans. We're forbidden from talking to them.
Toujours sous la surveillance. Voilà, le monsieur à ma gauche, là, c'est celui qui nous surveille avec le plus de vigilance. C'est le chef des guides. Ok.
James, let's go.
To find out what is hiding behind the dances and the outward smiles, we have to go to a neighbouring country, where speaking isn't a crime. We're in Seoul, the capital of the biggest enemy of North Korea, South Korea. In the country, there are 30,000 North Koreans who fled the neighbouring dictatorship to seek refuge here.
안녕하세요. 이쪽으로 앉으시면 돼요. 네, 가방 이쪽에 둬도 될까요? 네. 감사합니다.
Choi Soo-yang, 26, secretly left Pyongyang in 2014 2 years after Kim Jong-un took power. She tells us that nothing has changed. She's taken part in several television shows that report on life in the North. On the air, along with the hosts, she mocks Kim Jong-un's politics.
그 식생활을 좀 개선해보려고 김정은이가 군에서 콩농사 열풍을 되게 세탁에 불러일으키라고 그러거든요. 네, 콩농사. 네, 그러면서 우리 남한으로 말하면 국방부 장관이죠. 네, 그런 북한군 청정치국장한테 당신 청정치국장이 아니라 군인들 속에서 콩정치국장이라고 불릴 정도로 콩농사에 대한 그런 네.
In Seoul, Su Yang discovered an environment she'd never dreamed of, a world which is highly connected instead of cut off from everything.
북한에서는 개인이 자가용을 소지할 수가 없고 차 운전이라는 걸 이제 꿈도 꿔보지 못했습니다.
In the north, only a small group of extremely rich individuals can drive their own vehicles, just one injustice among so many others. However, Su Yang believed in Kim Jong-un. His signs of openness and a taste for Western culture let her dream of big changes to come, a dream which didn't last.
정권을 잡기 전에 후계자로 등장을 했을 때 이제 그 위대성 교양이라고 해서 김정은에 대한 이제 우상화 선전을 많이 해왔어요. 그래서 이제 북한 사회에 큰 변화가 올 거다라는 이런 오지 않을까 이런 생각도 했던 것 같아요. 탈북자들이 너무 많아지고 있다 보니까 제가 나올 때보다 국경은 더 경계가 심해졌다고 하고 있고 그리고 북한에서 이제 예전에 내가 살 때도 정말 그 공포체제야 정말 두려움이 컸거든요. 모든 것이 다 불법이에요. 북한에서 살아가려면 그 불법에 대한 이제 처벌을 너무 완전 강하게 하다 보니까 항상 불안하게 살았지만 지금은 더 정말 김정은이 어떤 지시를 했을 때 그 지시에 시범경으로 걸리는 사람들은 무조건 다 처형감인 거예요. 그렇다 보니까
Kim Jong-un eliminates anyone who gets in his way. In North Korea and even abroad, borders don't get in the way of the officials in Pyongyang. We are in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. It was here that one of the most memorable assassinations of recent years took place. Kim Jong-un is reported to have had his own brother, Kim Jong-nam, killed. Nam was the first son of his dictator father. However, it wasn't him who was chosen to take power. In 2003, he was exiled from his family and country for trying to enter Japan with a fake passport. After that, he lived between Macau and Malaysia. On the 13th of February last year, he was getting ready to take a flight at the international airport. He can be seen on these video surveillance images in a grey suit jacket with a bag on his back. The journalist, Timothy Ashariam, investigated the case.
He looked like he was a traveller, any normal traveller going to board a flight. When he looks up at the board, he's looking for his flight. It's probably about 10 seconds he looks at the board, and then he heads over to the kiosk counter to check in, the self-check-in. He came to this counter, this exact counter, to check in for his flight. And as he was checking in, he was very busy, so he didn't know what was going on around him. Doan, the Vietnamese girl, she came from the back and she went over his head from the back and pushed the cloth with him. And you can see him doing a double take, like he moved back a bit, and there's the other girl, Siti Aisha, came from the side to distract him while this was all going on. And then coolly, Siti Aisha went off this way and Doan went off that way.
The scene is filmed by two different cameras. Here we can see the young woman who runs her hand over his face from behind. Then her and her companion calmly leave the crime scene. According to the journalist, that day, the two women weren't alone.
Apparently, allegedly, there were 4 North Koreans sitting at that cafe right there. They must have been sitting at that table, as you can see, that table facing directly us. It was reported and it's alleged that they were sitting there and monitoring, and then immediately after it happened, they had gotten up and left.
Kim Jong-nam doesn't know at this point that he's been poisoned. The chemical doesn't act immediately, and after the attack, he doesn't appear weakened. The doctors later discover that he had inhaled VX nerve agent, an extremely powerful neurotoxin. A single dose and death is certain. Worried, Kim Jong-nam goes straight away to an information desk. He's then taken to the police. On these images, we see him reenact the scene. The policemen take him to the airport's medical centre. He starts to feel unwell. A passerby takes this photo of him. He is lying on a stretcher, waiting to be taken to hospital. He dies in the ambulance.
It definitely took a lot of planning, yeah. It's not something that is done overnight. It's a lot of planning, a lot of execution. The execution has to be perfect for this kind of thing. And I think the execution was perfect.
For this perfect murder, everything points to North Korea, which is one of the only countries to possess the VX poison. The 4 men who were watching the scene managed to get away, but the 2 women who carried out the attack were arrested. One of them chose a big-shot Malay lawyer to defend her, Dato Naran Singh. He claims it's all a plot, assuring that his client does not have the profile of a professional killer.
She's a very pretty woman, you know. Anybody will pick her for acting, you see, like this, you see. And then she's very outgoing, you know, very outgoing lady.
She was in a TV show?
Yeah, she has been. Several shows in Vietnam. Yeah.
So she really wanted to be famous?
Yeah, any woman.
Slightly questionable arguments from the lawyer, but according to him, this explains that the young woman didn't know what she was doing.
What happened, they started doing video prank itself in Vietnam. And she was invited to come to Malaysia to do these video pranks. That was the reason she was here. One of the things that she did that day was to get a movie shooting for a prank video. There were certain people who were with her, who directed her to go and do this act. And she's merely innocent in doing the act. That's what we are looking at.
The young woman says that her and her companion had been trained for several months, carrying out real hidden camera stunts. It's going to be hard to convince the court of such an unlikely story. They both risked the death penalty. Regardless of their fate, everything points to Kim Jong-un being the person who ordered the assassination. In the centre of Kuala Lumpur, we have a meeting with Axel Huang, a friend of the victim. According to him, Nam knew he was in danger.
He always sit here. Wife sit here. So he like here. Because grass here. Okay? Grass protect. And then the security, two bodyguards, always sitting here.
He was always accompanied by his bodyguards. However, the day of his assassination, he was alone. This is not surprising for his friend.
What is this community so terrible? I have to talk to them. Young Nam was very good financial condition until Chang Song-tek was arrived.
Remember Kim Jong-un's uncle, the one he had assassinated just after he arrived in power.
Chang Song-tek was killed by Kim Jong-un. After that, all the pipeline, money pipeline, supply is stopped. So he got some suffering for the money, financial, I think, problem.
No more money meant no more bodyguards. Kim Jong-nam became an easy target. Yet he still criticized his brother and the regime in Pyongyang. According to his friend, his fate was sealed.
2012, already Kim Jong-un trying to kill, order already, trying to kill Kim Jong-nam. In North Korea, internally Kim Jong-un have one big problem is Kim Jong-nam, because his blood is no original blood. You understand? So Kim Il-sung here, Kim Jong-il here. But next one is who? Kim Jong-nam. Why? Because elder son. That's why he decided to kill him.
After the assassination of Kim Jong-nam, Kim Jong-un laid low. From then on, he was the only one left with claim to the Kim legacy. At the same time, the dictator protected himself from his enemies outside by launching missiles and developing his nuclear weapons. Nobody can touch him. That's what he hammers home in propaganda clips like these, broadcast on state television. During our visit, the regime conducted a nuclear test. This military success is displayed everywhere. Newspapers are shown behind glass in the streets. On the front page that day, the regime is threatening its enemies, South Korea and the United States, with nuclear war.
Même chez le coiffeur, il y a des affiches de bombes atomiques qui déchirent le drapeau américain.
Our guides take us to the countryside. We take roads which are completely empty. Sometimes we see large blocks of stone intended to block tanks in case of an invasion. Our destination for the day is a farm.
It has 1,867 farmers here. The total population of this area is about 3,043 people, and also it has over 1,000 families.
Inside the farm is a statue depicting the abundance of the country. It was built in 1997, during a famine that caused hundreds of thousands of deaths in the country.
Donc chaque visite qu'on fait, en fait, elle a un objectif précis. On est vraiment dans un voyage de propagande. Et ici, c'est une ferme modèle. L'objectif, c'est de nous montrer qu'il y a à manger en Corée et que la famine, elle est loin.
During our visit, it's impossible to see the workers close up. Everything is done so we don't meet.
This is a farm?
Yeah.
But there are no farmers.
I said it's too hot.
Okay.
They are under shadow.
Okay.
We can't see the farmers. On the other hand, we can hear what is broadcast all day over the loudspeakers that are placed all around the farm.
Miss Pak, what the speaker are saying?
We succeeded in launching the H-bomb, new kind of H-bomb. So we will produce more developed H-bomb, and we will defend our country from the US or something like that.
The missiles are everywhere, at the farm but also at the stamp museum that we visit.
Cette série-là, c'est pour célébrer le lancement du missile intercontinental qui est passé au-dessus du Japon. Et là, on voit Kim Jong-un qui jubile, avec le poing comme ça. Et là, on voit les missiles. Voilà comment on envoie un courrier en Corée.
It's the same when we go to a primary school.
Our school is well known throughout the country as a model one. We've done a lot of things to realize the educational idea of the respect by Kim Jong-un and implement our policy for education. This is department control system. We've made all the classrooms for security. We are directing and controlling all the teaching here. For example, as you can see how many students are absent today here and can visit every lessons not to go to their classrooms.
In this school, where both pupils and teachers are closely watched, we're shown a model of education, Kim Jong-un style. The children who play perfectly at football. Perfectly at table tennis. Little girls who perfectly master their dance steps or gymnastics. sing with a smile in their English lessons. The highlight of the visit, the show by the children who not only have to excel in class and at sports, but also in music. But behind the smiles which never leave the children's lips, the propaganda is always present. It's a young boy's turn to sing in front of us. The great leader at the heart of their education, even in the science classroom.
At the middle school, our school children are learning the subject called nature. These two places shows the places where the satellite was launched. Man-made satellite for weather.
Weather satellites which look a lot like Kim Jong-un's missiles. In the corridors, the posters are less ambiguous. Always missiles. And the children's education goes beyond the confines of the school. Later, we are taken to visit one of the most popular museums in the country, the Museum of American War Atrocities in the Sinchon region. A huge building built at the request of Kim Jong-un in 2015 to pay tribute to the victims of a massacre during the Korean War, which led to a total of 3 million deaths, of which 2 million were civilians, from the north and the south. As usual, everything is done so that we do not meet any North Koreans. Our guides wait for local visitors to come out of the museum before we go in.
Marshal Kim Jong-un said, we don't have to forget, all of our people's miserable life at that time. So we have to renovate and newly build new museum, and the new generation have to know that of our people's miserable and then the U.S. Army's brutal behavior.
The museum describes how the American Army attacked the population of the region for nearly 2 months in 1950. According to the North Koreans, over 35,000 people were killed. However, according to independent historians, if there was indeed a massacre, we do not know the precise number of victims nor who was responsible for the killings. It's impossible to know if the facts reported here are accurate. The photos, paintings and reconstructions spare no gory details. Everything is accompanied by dramatic music and the cries of children from the loudspeakers.
They hold back the lady's two hands and they put the wooden stick between their legs. They use dogs to bite people. How brutal they are, cut her breast down and then they pour gasoline to her body and they set the fire. The U.S. Army, they bind the rape into the whole body of the newborn baby and they use as a football and they kill them.
Is the children visit this museum?
Yeah, children, primary, secondary, and adults.
But it's very harsh and harmful pictures for children.
Even children, they are when they see that picture, and they say, we will always fight against the U.S. Army, they say. Shall we move?
Visiting this museum is obligatory for all school children in the country from the age of nursery school. The United States accused North Korea of spreading propaganda about the massacre. According to Washington, the accusations against the American army are false. We ask our guide.
Just did the United States recognize this massacre?
She does not appreciate the question at all.
Okay, question. What about you think about all of these things? Is it real? You think it's real, or is this liar? It's bullshit, or it is real? What do you think?
And what about your opinion?
My opinion, I hate them.
Today, still today.
Still today, they are still U.S. Army. You know, U.S. Army is our biggest enemy of this country.
We leave the museum, but our guides want to maintain the ambience.
It's rain because of sadness of Koreans. Yeah, we are going to the DMZ now, military demarcation line. The Korean Peninsula, 10 million people are separated in two, north and south. So today we are here, the very place of symbol of national tragedy. So the rain is coming because of it's crying. The sky is crying.
The DMZ is the demilitarized zone between the north and south. An armistice was signed in 1953, but the two countries are still officially at war. An estimated 700,000 North Korean soldiers are gathered at the border, faced with 400,000 South Koreans, assisted by approximately 30,000 Americans.
You're American? Yes, sir. It's an American, no?
And what is your feeling to see American soldiers here? It's
Feeling
strange.
to revenge.
Revenge them?
We're taken to the room where the armistice was signed, but the language is far from peaceful.
Our national flag. If the U.S. provoke Korean war again, then we will smash them, and then we will make nobody sign on the surrender document.
And from their perspective, who better than Marshal Kim Jong-un to stand up to them? His portrait as a military leader is everywhere.
They're not doing the military exercise in South Korean territory.
So you're scared about that? Or?
Never.
Never.
Because our military build-up is really strong. We have nuclear, we have H-bomb, we have all kind of military armed service, weapons. So we never scared. Our people wants to, fight against the U.S.
Is Kim Jong-un really ready to start a war with the Americans? We return to the other side of the border in South Korea to meet with Andrei Lankov, who knows the story of the Kim dynasty by heart. He is in no doubt that the young dictator is just applying a calculated and thought-out strategy.
Do you consider that Kim Jong-un is a madman?
Of course not. He is very smart, realistic, extremely pragmatic person, and probably the greatest Machiavellian currently in operation. To start with, he is a survivor. He is a master of survival. He saw what has happened to many other regimes, which the United States and other Western powers bracketed together with his country. I'm talking about Libya, I'm talking about Iraq, I'm talking about Taliban Afghanistan. He doesn't want to go that way, and he understands that the only way to survive for him is to keep nuclear weapons, because he assumes that no country would ever attack a nuclear North Korea.
According to Andrei Lankov, Kim Jong-un would be unstoppable. No more resistance, either at home or from abroad. Even so, some still try to fight him. An hour and a half from Seoul, we have a meeting with Lee Min-bok. He's a North Korean refugee. He escaped to South Korea a little over 20 years ago. He tells us that it was a leaflet against the Pyongyang regime that convinced him to flee. Mr. Lee is one of North Korea's biggest enemies. There is a price on his head.
에드볼은 풍선 제작하는 거예요. 여기다 이제 수컷가스를 내가지고 삐라를 달아서 날린다고. 자, 이거 삐라, 이게 전단이에요, 이게.
In the bags are slogans against the regime, pages of the Bible which are forbidden in North Korea, and anti-Kim Jong-un films on USB keys. 2 men are with him from the South Korean police.
그 경찰이 여기 있으니까 이민복 씨 북한 로스코리아 테러 6명이서 2명씩 24시간 매일 어디를 가든지 항상 있어. 서로
반하는 정도 아니라 이것 때문에 한 200여 차례 항의를 했고요. 저희 하는 걸 독침 솔라 스파이를 보냈댔고요. 다 잡았지만요.
암살 시도를 많이 한다고 해도 그 두려우시지 않으십니까?
네, 괜찮아요. 네, 오히려 그럴수록 이게 효과 있다라고 오히려 희열을 느껴요.
After 2 hours on the road, we reach our destination, in the middle of nowhere. North Korea is within reach of the balloons.
요거 한 10km? 10km. 네, 아주 가까워요. 여기는 군사 통제 구역이 돼서 들어갈 수 없어요. 여기서부터. 네, 여기.
His wife helps to prepare the delivery. The mechanism is simple. Each bag filled with leaflets is linked to an alarm clock. When it goes off,